This is a demo about LVM2 RAID support in Cockpit. And let's start by making a LVM2 volume group, of course. I have four physical volumes of the same size. And let's see. So the main difference is, or the first difference is here in the create dialog. And it got bigger now. And now you can select which physical volumes to use for your new logical volumes. For example, now the default is still the linear layout, and you can use any number of physical volumes for that. If you would use all four, then the maximum size is about 2 gigabytes, of course. If you only use the first two ones, then it's about 1 gigabyte, and so on. You can, for example, of course, they don't have to be consecutive. So let's just make a linear volume on this. And you can see the result here. Oh, it was too small. Actually, the first one was enough. And yeah, I didn't pay enough attention. So it will not always use all of the physical volumes for a linear logical volume. But we will see that later on. That's different for more complicated things. Yeah, we can grow this now. Again, you can choose which physical volumes to use for growing. So if we say this one, STD, is the one that is already used, but we don't want to use it for growing. So let's make it a bit bigger. And then you can see the new space comes from different physical volumes here. And yeah, STD is still not fully used. But the main reason, of course, to introduce all this physical volume complication is to support things like RAID 5 or striped and mirrored volumes. So we create a new one. And if you look here, the layout, I think it will not show in the screenshot in the screencast, unfortunately. Here the drop down lets you select different ones. I will go through a couple. You can select striped, and this will improve performance as it is explained here. For that you need at least two. You can have a mirror. That doesn't improve performance maybe, but it improves redundancy. If one half of the mirror is destroyed, you can still keep your data and you can repair it later on. And there's also RAID 10, which is a combination of stripes and mirrors. It's a bit more complicated. And maybe the classical RAID is RAID 5. Let's use this first. And it needs at least 3 physical volumes, but we can also use 4. Then it gets a little bit bigger if you only use 3. Maybe let's do that as a textbook example of RAID 5. Then it can be this size, but let's make it a little bit smaller so that we can grow it in this demo. So here it is. Now it uses these 3 physical volumes as expected. And yeah, now we can grow it. And here's another new feature that might need to be explained. So the dialog tells us that we need exactly 3 physical volumes, and exactly 3 are selected here. And that means we cannot deselect any of those, because then we would have not enough physical volumes anymore. If we want to use different ones, we first have to select 4, and then we can deselect one of those. That maybe needs a little bit to figure out. And I think the create dialog actually explains it a bit better. We can look at that again also. But let's grow this now on a different set of physical volumes. Let's see what happens. So you see SDE and SDF were selected, so they were used to grow the respective stripes. And then SDG was used to grow the first stripe. Yo. So the point of having redundancy in your logical volumes is, of course, that you can lose one of them or two, and you don't lose any data, and you can repair your logical volume without interruption. So let's now kill one of them. Let's say we kill SDE in the middle here. Can be done like this. If I remember it right. I'm not root. Demo effect. Why didn't sudo not work? A bug for another day. It also doesn't work. Okay, I'll does it again. Cockpit is not the world's best terminal, apparently. So now it's gone, finally. So, and you can see here, the page reacts to it. You get all kinds of triangles here, but it's just a warning. And if you follow the trail, you come here to the place where SDE used to be, and now it tells you that this logical volume is in trouble. It has lost some data. No, it hasn't lost data, but it has lost the physical volume, and you can repair it with this button here, which is hopefully easy to find. And of course you need some space to repair it, and there is not enough space here that can be used. So we need a couple more logical physical volumes here. Let's have 2 of those. And now we can repair, maybe with SDA. And then SDA takes this place here. And this has happened very quickly now because it's a very small toy logical volume only. And with a real bigger one, you would see some progress here that tells you how long it will still take until the repair is done. Then the volume group went into this strange state where it complains that it has lost something, and you have to explicitly acknowledge it, and then it's healthy again, and you can create more volumes. Sorry. Yo, I think that's all the new features. Let's have a look here. If we, for example, make a RAID 5 and we only have 3 selected, then you get this effect again that the remaining 3 are, the checkbox is disabled. And here's a text that hopefully explains this, why that is. Yo. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks a lot.